Hello everyone, Hug here, and I am finally back with a video, and today we will be going through the single target rotation for 11.1 Liberation of Undermine. Now, before this video starts, I will say there's going to be a quick guide for those who just want to learn the basics of the rotation. If you want to learn much more in depth about why a rotation works the way it works, I would highly recommend you go and watch Manather's video on this. But if you're just looking for a quick guide to get you started, this is the place to be, so let's get right into it. We are going to start off with our talent tree here. We're going to be playing Frostfire, as Frostfire currently seems a lot higher than Spellslinger, both in single target and in AoE. Now, the baseline Mage tree is pretty much the same as it always has been. You can swap around here the utility talents the way you want to. This is usually how I play in Raid. Obviously, there are certain scenarios where you might want to run Ice Block instead of Ice Cold, and you might want to run, for example, Blast Wave if you need knocks, etc. But I would highly recommend that you look at Warcraft logs for that. But for the spec tree, this is what we're going to be running currently in single target. Now, we're going to be running Death's Chill, but we are going to be treating Death's Chill as if it didn't exist at all. We're just using it as a static buff that we have in the background, so don't worry about opening up with spamming Frostfire Bolt or anything like that. It's just a buff we have. We're going to be running Ray of Frost because Ray of Frost does a decent chunk of damage. Then we have our Glacial Spike. Naturally, we're not running Freezing Winds anymore because of how it got changed. But yeah, this is pretty much the way we're going to be running. We're not running Frozen Touch or Slick Ice in single target as it currently stands. And you will see in the rotation how this works and what our damage breakdown will look like. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into that. So, you will shortly see me begin with the basic Frostfire Bolt, Flurry, into Comet Storm, and then Ray of Frost. We're going to be holding our Frozen Orb until after we have used our Ray, and now we're just going to be spamming Ice Lance in order to get our Glacial Spike off. Then we see our Weak Aura pop up here, so we're going to Flurry twice in order to not munch any Brain Freeze charges from our Frostfire procs. We're going to use our Shifting Power to make sure that we get our stuff back, and we want to make sure we use Shifting Power when Comet Storm or Ray and Icy Veins is on cooldown. Now, I should have used it slightly earlier as I wasted about 4 or 5 seconds of Comet Storm CDR, but it's not the biggest of deals in the world. And you see the rotation is very similar to how it's always been, with we're going to be trying to get as many Glacial Spikes off as we can. Now, with the changes that happen in 11.1, our Fingers of Frost charges no longer consume Winter's Chill from our target, which means that we can essentially gain more Icicles and crit Ice Lances from our Winter's Chill stacks. Because if you go into Winter's Chill with already Fingers of Frost proc, you will essentially be able to send 3 or maybe even 4 Ice Lances in a row. This is very important to note, and I highly recommend you get an updated Weak Aura to showcase this, so that you don't get lost in how many Winter's Chill stacks you actually have on your target. Now, we're always going to make sure that we use Comet Storm when we have a Winter's Chill on the target in order to shatter both the Comet Storm and the meteor that it sends down as well. And we also want to make sure that we send our Ray into a Winter's Chill. It's very important. But with how Frostfire currently works, we should never really be dry from Brain Freeze procs, which you will see in this rotational video as well. But there isn't much that has changed, but I understand that the new rotation can be quite hectic. But if you get this Weak Aura that you will see pop up here and there saying Flurry now, it really does make it easier. And this was a Weak Aura that I also took from Manather, and I highly recommend you either go to his video to get the link to download it, or I will also link it in the description down below. Now, this is done with the gear that I had from last season, so I believe I am at 639 eye level here, and I have the old tier set. So naturally, these damage numbers will go up once you gain higher gear, or even if you have more gear than me, your numbers will already look a bit better as well. The tier set that we have doesn't change anything for us rotationally, as it's not a rotational tier set. This is what the damage breakdown will look like. You'll have Glacial Spike on top, followed by Ice Lance, and then Ray of Frost. Flurry is going to be doing a decent chunk. Frostfire Bolt's putting in a lot of work. We have our Frostfire Infusion, then our Comet Storm Meteor duo, Frostfire Burst, Ice Nova, and so on. I hope you were able to take away something from this video. I tried to make it short and sweet. Like I said, if you're looking for more in-depth details, go watch Manether's guide on how to play. I will try and make a AoE rotational guide as well that will be of an equal length. But, like I said, hope you could take away something from this, and good luck out there, and I'll see you all next time.